Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Pisces in June 2020. Hello, dear Pisces. How are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing well. All right, Pisces, welcome to June. Welcome to halfway done with 2020. Is it 2021 yet, huh? All jokes aside, Pisces, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're healthy and happy. You know, it's a crazy time to be alive. That's just a maybe a very cliched way to kind of surmise what's going on in our world right now. But where I am in the world, United States at this time, early June 2020, we're just witnessing so many things go on in our country, in our world that are speaking to change. I support Black Lives Matter. I really do. I don't want to politicize too much here on my channel, but it is my channel, and if you're going to be watching me, if you're going to be listening to me, you have to understand that I support that as, you know, kind of, well, you don't have to agree with it because there are some people who don't, but as a person living in America, my experience is nuanced and it's specific to my life, and I can absolutely 100% say that Black lives do matter. And so, you know, Pisces, if you're with that, that's great. If you're not with that, that's less great, but I respect everybody's opinion to choose for themselves, okay? And again, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, be safe, be kind, okay? Don't engage with people. Just be kind, okay? That's the biggest way that you can change anything on a personal level, is to show kindness, is to show empathy towards other people, all right? It's hard to do, it's hard work, but that's what I'm at least here to impart to you. Now, moving on, because again, I'm not trying to politicize too much here on my channel. It's not a part of my mission yet. It might one day be, but as of today, it's not. Anyway, guys, welcome to June. Aside from that, general announcements here for the channel. I think I will go live at some point here in June for the entire collective. I normally go live once a month for the zodiac sign of the birthday season, so I'll be doing Gemini, a live session for them on June 13th. But I want to, you know, make more time and make more of an effort to connect with everybody at one time and give myself out and make myself more available. So be on the lookout for that if you are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so and making sure that you turn on your notification bells if you want to see me when I show up live on the channel, okay? Anything else? No, I don't think so. So let's get into the regular spiel. Pisces, that is your spread there. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you will need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have any questions before you place an order, just go ahead and email me at the same address, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And some of you may have seen as the video opened, I am on Instagram now. That name is EmpathicFire Tarot. Boop. You should see it on the screen there if you want to, you know, take a screenshot or note it down in your brain. And what I'm doing over there is I'm picking oracle cards and interpreting them a few times throughout the week. Needless to say, it's been a slow week. This last since the end of May, it's kind of been a slow week for me in general because, like I said, it's a crazy time to be alive. Anyway, but if you're interested at, you know, checking me out and seeing me on another platform and supporting me over there, please feel free to do so. The link is in the description box, okay? All right, Pisces, let's get into it. I want to see Pisces outcome for June 2020. Outcome for Pisces in June 2020. Please show me. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Alright, let's flip everything that came face down so we can see the full picture of your story, Pisces. Alright. And that one too. Silly me, okay. All right, let's get into it. Please show me where Pisces is in June 2020. Pisces, June 2020, please show me. Okay, thank you. All right, here we go. Pisces, coming into June, you come in with the energy of the Judgment card. Secondary major arcana for Scorpio. You can be dealing with a Scorpio, but you don't have to be. All right, so I like this depiction of Judgment because I think it gives like a different spin on it. Traditionally, we see something not archaic, but might be hard to interpret sometimes. But anyway, what I see here for you, Pisces, is a gateway, a pathway, a doorway, right? A portal to some other experience or some other phase in your life, some other chapter in your life. With Judgment, we're making judgment calls. We're putting an end to something. We're beginning something. It's very transitionary, right? You're leaving one phase of your life behind, possibly cold turkey, is sort of a sentiment that's coming to my mind. So some of you may be leaving behind certain addictions or behaviors that were counterproductive in your life or counterintuitive in your life, harmful in your life, harmful towards other people, and you're trying to walk the straight and narrow, so to speak, for those where this might be an issue of addiction. And I'm addressing this to you, Pisces. It is a general reading. It can go in that it resonates more for someone that you're dealing with, and you're just kind of hearing their story via your reading. Okay, so if it's not you just go ahead and use your discernment and apply it to the person that needs the message or that it pertains to, right? So walking the straight and narrow, many of you possibly getting into a rehab program or some type of treatment program for anything. It doesn't have to be addiction to drugs or alcohol. It can be treatment, just in terms of therapy. It could be treatment in terms of therapy and keeping track of yourself, keeping yourself accountable. It can be tied to current events and you're going out and becoming more active like you've never been before in your life. And I think in May, one of your readings, I could be wrong, or at least I can't remember when. I think that at some point in one of your readings, Pisces, I think the title was something like Standing Up for the Little Guy or something like that. So some of you are becoming very much involved in a public political aspect, right? Where before maybe you had your opinions, whatever they may be, and you didn't keep them to yourself, whatever they may be, or you did keep them to yourself, excuse me. But now you have been driven to the front line, so to speak. And whether you're out in the streets, whether you're on social media, whether you're making donations, whether you're volunteering, whatever you're doing, I feel as though it's like you've never been this person before, or you've never walked this particular path before. You've never made these choices before. You've never used your voice, your platform, your skills. You've never endeavored to do anything like this before. This Judgment card is a judgment call on your own life. Or on your own journey, right? You are opening a door and closing another, or closing one door and opening another, I should say. Thank you. It's not an abandoning thing. I don't think you're running from anything. I don't think this is like an avoidance card. I think that this is like almost an awakening for you. Like I said, this card is associated with Scorpio, and Scorpio rules the 8th house and is associated with the planet of Pluto. And Pluto right now, with some other friends of it, is in retrograde, and all that crazy shit is going on up in the sky, and it's resulting down here on Earth. But in general, speaking of 8th house and Plutonian type energies, there is this element of a spiritual awakening or a spiritual rebirth in some of your cases. And it doesn't even have to be woo-woo, namaste, meditation, singing bowls and chakras. It doesn't have to be that type of spiritual. Like I said in the opening, just realizing that you need to be kind and empathetic, or show it more often, or offer your shoulder, offer your ear to someone who is experiencing some type of trauma. That is a spiritual act. Just listening to a person, engaging in a conversation with a person where before you may have shied away from it because it was too difficult, or you didn't know what to say, or you felt as if you had nothing to offer this person, right? And it doesn't have to be related to current events. This could be strictly within your own home. This could be strictly within your own friendship dynamics, okay? Where before, some people are like that in a friendship relationship or a relationship with a family member. Tough topics are tough to talk about for some people, and you yourself might need someone to talk to, right? It doesn't have to be you're somebody's hero, or you're somebody's, the person that you don't have to be the person extending kindness. You could be the person who is in need of kindness. And so I feel like whatever is on the other path, not the other path, but whatever's at the other gateway, because you see this floating door. Basically, it's not floating, but you see this very cosmic, like, dimensional door in the foreground, and then you see another one in the background there. Like, it's like you're walking this path. You're walking, possibly some of you, down a hallway or a corridor, and once you reach that other door, once you reach that other portal, that gateway, something changes for you. Something flips. And in most of your cases, it feels like it has this potential to be eye-opening, like I said, like a rebirth of some type. Again, that scorpionic energy, that Plutonian energy, So that's the thing about Scorpio and Plutonian energy. It destroys what was there previously, leaves it in the dust, crumbles it to the ground, and that makes room for this revival or this rebirthing or this reawakening aspect, right? That's wonderful. That is part of most spiritual journeys that I've seen people talk about. It's part of my own. So I'm here for it. Now, what else happens with Pisces? Please show me. Okay, so you are worried. Yeah. Okay. So above you is a lot of worry. Yeah, but it's okay, come on. Clean that up. Thank you. So above you, here's the thing about my dear Pisces, one of the signs of duality. You can be of two minds about something. Same thing as Gemini, same thing with Libra. Virgo can be like this a little bit sometimes, in my opinion. You don't have to, take that on if you don't want to. But what I know, they're changing my vocab sometimes around here. What I know, Pisces, is that you're of two minds, but actually your body is more doing what one mind says, or one of the fish says, right? Because one of your symbols is two fish encircling the or chasing each other's tails, basically, right? So one fish is very confused, is very blocked, or feels very cautious about what's happening, or what you're about to do, or what you're thinking you should do, or what you're thinking you want to pursue for yourself, right? Two of Swords above your starting position. It's not a knot, like not a KNOT type of knot, but there is this showing of a blockage, right, with these two swords being curled and not the way swords should be, which is straight and pointy and sort of kind of a straightforward weapon. So what I see here is like this entanglement, or this bit of confusion, and there's this hesitation, reluctance, or resistance in your mind. Second guessing could be, simply how it's manifesting for you. You could have a great idea. You could feel really inspired or attached to this journey of walking out of one door and into another, so that you can begin a new experience, so that you could start in on some type of, spiritual revival for yourself, or, a new career, a new batch of friends, or a new person in your life, whatever it is. But this Two of Swords is like you're in your head and you're analyzing, well, what do I say? How do I say it? When is the right time to say this? When is the right time to say that other thing? Could I be, some of you are like, am I making this up in my head? Is this actually a good idea? This is like criticism. This is coming, because you see, like, the swords would normally be pointed outwards, right? Away from the hilt, away from the handle of each sword, right? But the blades have curled, and the point of the blades is coming back towards wherever the person's hand would be, whoever would be holding this sword or the other, right? So the point of the sword, the the stabby part, is pointed towards yourself. So a lot of you are being super critical of yourself. You're super over analyzing everything that you're saying, everything that you're doing, trying your best to not offend other people, trying your best to express yourself correctly, to get it right the first time, so that you don't have to come back and apologize or amend or anything like that. Also, you don't want to get it wrong in the sense of wasting your time. Some of you, like I said, this could be like a change in your career. This could be a move financially. This could be a physical move that has come up a lot in the month of June. A lot of people are more able to get out back into the world. now that I think at least where I am, other things have taken over sort of the news of the day and the necessary procedures of the day. But in general, things were kind of loosening up because of this pandemic that is still going on. And I think some of you are just able to move out in the world more physically, be more involved in your community, get back to work wherever you work, wherever you were working, at the beginning of 2020. And so you are being cautious with everything you do. In other cases, some of you are stuck. Some of you are not as mobile. Some of you are not as sure. Like some of you are sure and you're going to go for it. You're going to say things, do things, start, walking down this cosmic path that we were discussing in the judgment card. Some of you are in that process. Some of you are standing on, the before side, the previous side of this gateway, looking through it and not feeling ready, feeling capable, feeling confident enough to move forward. So again, like I said, okay, you're knotted up. Your insides, your mind, you're second guessing yourself, you're feeling inequipped, you're feeling, under-equipped or inept is, I think, is the word that I really wanted, inept. And that's can be a self-perception, but in some of your cases, you aren't in the necessary environment to do exactly what you want yet. Right? So that's in the case where some of you need to move or some of you need to be in a certain space before you can enact a plan or enact a certain endeavor. Okay. For a second, that felt kind of ominous, and I can't really explain that. So again, I am not a proponent, an advocate for anything negative, period. Right? But if you are into negative shit, see? If you're into something that you know is harmful to other people and you're caught up in whether or not to actually be involved or commit yourself to a plan, commit yourself to your own plan, commit yourself to anything that is negative, that is harmful outright to other people, and you're second guessing it, err on the side of kindness. Err on the side of being a decent human being towards another human being. Don't. It's not the bulk of the message, but it came through like, boom, like sort of like how I was doing that stabbing motion regarding these swords. See? And you see how the sword is pointed back towards the potential person who's holding it? Some of you may be called to do something that you know is wrong. Don't do it. That's it. That's all. That's it. Okay? Moving on. Let's go. All right. Thank you. Thank you for whoever needs to hear that. Hear it. Okay? Hopefully you hear it. Now, what else happens? Because this whole top line is showing to me reluctance, resistance, blockages, okay? But like I was just saying, or what I was just getting to with this hangman right next door, or excuse me, the hangwoman. My apologies. This is you. This is second major arcana for Pisces, okay? So here you are. You've been in every card so far. I think this is totally a Pisces reading. If other people are here, they feature very minorly. Whoever is that needs to hear this message, whoever is resonating with, it's for you, okay? Hangwoman. This is an invitation from Spirit, from God, from the universe, from Buddha, Jesus Christ, whoever you believe in, whoever you don't believe in, okay? That says, rethink this. Reconsider what you're doing, or reconsider the bigger picture, so to speak, and seek your inner truth, which should be the truth that's reflected from you to you from whatever you believe in or don't believe in, okay? And this is, I said this related to judgment. This is like some spiritual shit for you, Pisces. Some of you are being called to do things that you've never done before, and you need to be brave. And you haven't been brave before, or your bravery has never been asked for on such a grand scale, right? Your bravery, some of you, is going to be, like I said about an earlier reading in 2020 for you guys, standing up for people, standing up for the little guy who has no voice, or their voice, the little guy's voice is smaller than yours. You know, some of you might have a public persona. You might have a platform where you can state something in either way, okay? I'm not taking sides, although I told you BLM, okay? That's my platform, or that's my sentiment on it, okay? So, but anyway, and you're, I don't want to say the repercussions, because I don't think it would come in that form for most of you. I don't think it would be a damning experience for you, something that you couldn't recoup from, or something that it's deep. It's coming from a deep place within you, because this hanged woman, the judgment card, I see the Hermit is coming up. On a spiritual note, Pisces, you're being called into action in some type of way. Some of you might do this work. Some of you might be, you know, influencers on social media. Some of you might be religious leaders. Some of you might be community leaders. Some of you might be teachers, and you've been doing Zoom classes with your 5th graders for 3 months, and you don't know what to do. How can I help? What can I do? I'm not here to tell you that, but you're being put in a precarious situation, or I shouldn't say precarious, you're being put in an uncomfortable situation where you want to use your skills in a way that's for the greater good, hopefully. You know? And as you do it, as a Pisces would normally be anyway, to a certain degree, as you move down this pathway towards that new way of being, this new experience, this new identity in some of your cases, where maybe before you were totally not interested in policy or politics or social justice, and now you are. Before you were never interested in being an entrepreneur, and now you are. Before you were never interested in getting help. Like I said, some of you, this is about an addiction. And that was, one of the first messages. You've never before considered how your mistreatment of yourself, or your usage of whatever drugs has impacted other people. But now you see that. Or maybe, okay, going back here, just for the addiction portion, remember when I was saying how the blade of the sword is pointed back towards the person holding it? I think, okay, thank you, that's the difference, or that's the correct way I was supposed to say this. You have been aware of how your behaviors, for those where this is about addictions and treatments and stuff like that, how your behaviors have hurt other people, or affected other people at the very least, right? Affected other people. Affected your ability to socialize, affected your ability to keep a job, affected your ability to maintain healthy relationships, etc., etc., etc. But you've never done the curled back sword thing. You've never seen how it's affected you personally. You've always kind of, you haven't done it, you just haven't thought of yourself in that way. How does doing this, getting high today, affect me? Breaks you down physically, mentally, emotionally. That's kind of the quick, the long and the quick, or the quick and the short of it, something like that, whatever that phrase is. And so this is about self-analysis. This top line here is about self-analysis. And like I said about signs of duality, Pisces, you're also a mutable sign. I find that mutable signs do a lot of analysis, because you are the recreators, right? If you don't know anything about astrology, very quickly, the cardinals create, fixed signs maintain, and then mutable signs rewrite, restructure. Essentially, tear it down to build it up, or tear it down so that the rebuilding of a cardinal can come in again and start it up. But you dismantle things, go about death and rebirth, or some type of transformation, again, coming mostly from the Judgment card on the board here today. And you do so through heavy analysis. Like I said, the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and you, Pisces, I have never met any one of those signs that is not a critical thinker or somebody that spends a lot of time in their head, quote unquote, researching, and it can become an echo chamber, and it can become, confusing, and you can kind of lose yourself in your own mind. Pisces being mutable water, okay, you can lose yourself in that process. But deep reflection on the self is happening up here, and the Hanged Woman, in terms of like how it's manifesting in your life, literally, you've been in a quarantine for a while, many of you have at least, and you've had nothing to do but sit and think. You haven't been able to get out and physically move. What do we see on this card? We see somebody who is suspended by silks. Like, as beautiful as the card is, and what a wonderful performance it is, it's not like she is going to quickly decide, well, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm just going to go get a cup of coffee. No, you're not. Coffee shop is closed. Pandemic is going on. Coffee shop is closed, or, it's not worth the hassle to go outside and get it. So you stay at home, you make a home brew. It's not as good, and you're just left up to your own devices again. You're sitting there contemplating, thinking, and some of you are thinking about things that you've never thought about before. Again, you've never thought about starting a business. You never thought about going into treatment for your issues. Drugs or not, can be therapy, like I said before, can be just, going and starting up a new routine for yourself. You never thought about dedicating yourself to spiritual practice. Here you go. Looking up, excuse me, looking up mantras, looking up mudras, looking up what the chakras mean, all that kind of stuff. If that's your bag. Some of you, it's more traditional. You're looking up, what does it mean? What is a rosary significant for? Etc. 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 Okay. Now the final component, and again, it's kind of going to be very similar to what we've already discussed. The Hermit card. Oh, another one of your mutable buddies has shown up here. So, excuse me. This is excuse me. Let me pause for a second. Hold on. Okay, Pisces, I apologize about that. Didn't want to have a coughing fit in front of you. It's very gross. Anyway, so you have one of your mutable buddies showing up in the reading. This is Major Arcana. Hermit is Major Arcana for Virgo. You could be dealing with a Virgo, but you don't have to be. And again, we've got like this idea of like moving towards something. However, the Hermit moves slowly. It's ruled by an Earth sign, Virgo, so it's in that Earth signs are related to the element, or excuse me, the quality of the element. Yeah, it's related to Pentacles. Anyway, I see that far white box in the center here to be like another doorway, or maybe like a window. It's more like a window. Thank you. Okay, they're like, yeah, window. Okay, so in your isolation, where many of us have been, again, we were and still are kind of dealing with pandemic issues across the globe, but particularly here in the States. And I feel as though the window, how a window, you can see through it, but then at certain angles or at certain times of day, it really is sort of like a mirror, and it reflects things to you, and you see things that, you can see certain things that you didn't see before, or you can't see things anymore, and your view is obstructed because it's too dark outside or it's too dark inside, what have you, right? Again, there's something about you're in a position to observe, to reflect, to reconsider, to understand something about your experience, your life, your passion, your mission, your path, whatever, that you haven't understood before. Hermit asks for the rhymes and the reasons to things, okay? Hermit is a self-reflective energy. Again, like I said, self-analysis, right? A lot of you, again, have been in your heads and thinking of, how do I fit into this grand scheme of anything? How do I fit into this company? How do I fit into this role as a member of a community board, or some type of, you know, yeah. How do I fit into this particular role in terms of family dynamics as well? And, what does it mean to be a blank? Not, in some of you, it's even cosmic or astrological. What does it mean to be a Pisces? Like, some of you might be exploring that for the first time. You don't really know that much about your own astrological archetypes. And so you come to tarot, or you look at other readers, or you read some things online. You might purchase some books. You might, watch a couple documentaries, whatever. This is exploratory energy, and the purpose of the Hermit is to explore. As you explore yourself, understand your inner workings, you can make better sense of the world outside the window. Got it. The Hermit is inside. Look at this. Like, this person, this woman, she's standing in this box. She's standing in this, indescript place. And she has no one there to interact with but herself. But at some point, she could walk up to that window and observe what is going on outside. And I feel, Pisces, that's kind of what you're doing. As you consider yourself in the grand scheme of things, how you fit in, what's your purpose, what's your role, what are you meant to do, what do you want to do? If it's not about purpose, it's just simply, well, what do I want to do, right? And why do I want to do these things? And where does the inspiration come from? And, in some of your cases, I never knew I could do this, or I never knew I would be so inspired to do this, and you're surprising yourself. And as you surprise yourself with all this knowledge that you gain about self, you then are able to see the world outside your window in a different light. Yeah? You are having a complex... I don't think it's complex. I get it. But for some of you, it might feel super complex. It might feel very... loopy, or you might feel loopy in some type of way. You might feel dizzy, some of you, because of this suspended upside down feeling that the Hanged Woman is depicting. You go suspend yourself upside down for however long, eventually your head is going to feel quite weird, right? Because that's not how the human equilibrium is designed. We're designed to walk on our feet. We're not designed to dangle upside down from silks from the ceiling, yeah? So many of you are going to feel disoriented while you pursue this new pathway, and that's going to possibly just be the price that you pay. I think some of you don't like that idea, and then, like I said, who wants that? In very traditional interpretations of the Hanged Woman or the Hanged Man in other decks, it's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to go through that. Hermit energy. Nobody really wants to spend days or weeks on end self-criticizing themselves or analyzing themselves and realizing that, I'm not exactly where I want to be. I haven't really said the things I needed or I wanted to say. I should have been more active in this particular situation or circumstance. I should have given myself in different ways. Why did I hold myself back? Why was I doing XYZ? Why? All the whys. That's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to do that shit. But it's a new path, it's a new journey, and it's a part of this releasing of or moving away from a past way, a former way, a previous way of living and of being, of addressing people, of addressing yourself, of holding yourself accountable, of holding other people accountable. And then you move towards this new normal. You move towards this new dynamic. You move towards this new way of new principles, whatever. It's not easy. So don't beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. Be confident that the work is worth it. The work is worth it. Trust me. Okay? Now, what else happens, Pisces? The work is worth it. What did I tell you? So what I think you get to eventually, Pisces, is this revived energy, this renewed energy, or you meet someone who embodies this, and that is a wonderful thing in most of your cases. So, Princess of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a fire sign, but you don't have to be. And Princess of Wands, aka Page of Wands. So, This can be a young person. They don't have to be a child, but pages or princesses are often equated to children. Does not have to be a female, could be a male. And again, doesn't have to be a fire sign either. But this person or this energy is young, fresh, vibrant. It has not been tainted or jaded by the world. And if it is, it's counteracting that energy. It's like the page, or excuse me, the Princess of Wands is, dare I say, the most enthusiastic of all the pages or the princesses, right? This is believing in a dream, believing in an idea, believing in change, transformation, believing that whatever we want to create, whatever I want to create as an individual, whatever we want to create as a partnership, as a group, as a society, as a community, we can create that, right? So it can be very personal to you, or it could be very expansive to you, whatever, however this shows up in your life and resonates, okay? It runs the gamut. It runs the spectrum. So consider whoever is coming into your life that is embodying this type of energy, embodying this type of speech or behavior, right? Look at also the posture of this person. Strong, balanced, but also sort of beautiful or expressive. So this is energy that is not afraid to communicate. This is energy or a person that is not afraid to say what they need to say, do what they need to do in order to accomplish the goal at hand, right? And again, as now my voice is getting kind of hoarse. Let it see, maybe that maybe that's it. Maybe you're dealing with someone who, or you are somebody who, you're using your voice a lot to the point where you are getting hoarse and your voice is changing, or you're doing a lot of shouting, you're doing a lot of raising of hell in terms of vocalizing, not actual raising of hell. Again, I do not condone nor purport or nor perpetuate anybody doing anything violent or negative, period, paragraph, okay? Never, ever, ever. However, can you raise hell with your voice? Can you raise hell with your platforms? Again, for those, because this could also be a part of what the Princess of Wands is about. Princess of Wands can have a public persona, a public presence of significance, right? Not saying you got to be rich and famous, but to be savvy. Princess of Wands is savvy, so you might be quote unquote unknown, or this person might be unknown, but if they're savvy with social media, they're able to really make an impact, or they're really able to get people mobilized or organized in some type of way. And again, it doesn't have to be related to any of the current events. If you want to be mobilized and recognized and get people together and draw up a plan to freaking organize a state fair, or organize anything, you can do it with the same amount of fervor as somebody who is politically involved, who is politically engaged, okay? It doesn't have to be limited to the current events. Or, and you could be watching this in 2 months, you could be watching this from 2 years from 2020, this could be 2022, and you're somehow stumbling upon this video. If it resonates for you in the moment, that is when you need the message. That is why you have come here to see it. The confirmation for you, Pisces, is don't be afraid. Don't be convinced that you can't achieve. Princess of Wands is optimistic. Princess of Wands sees a challenge and recognizes this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a battle. This is not going to be something that comes easily, but I'm going to do it anyway. I need to do it. I must do it. It's an imperative. Yeah? Huh. That's funny. Just because it's here, I'm just gonna mention it. I don't know why. Star Wars, like something you could be a great fan of Star Wars, or something in that franchise has inspired you. Why do I say this? Like, where the hell did that come from, Jay? It's like out of left field. I was looking at these 2 cards, thinking if there was anything else that I needed to speak about, and the imagery of both. So you see on the Judgment card, you've got like those 2 planets or moons in the background, and there's some scene, I think in one of the original Star Wars. I know the movies, but like not hardcore. But Luke Skywalker is looking out over a very desert area. So I'm getting like a little bit of desert vibe off of these two pyramid type structures. And I think it's like two moons that are like going down in the distance, or they're raising in the distance or whatever. And then you've got obviously, well, not obviously, but something that kind of mimics like the two little buns that Princess Leia wore. And she's a princess. You know, so something about Star Wars is important to at least one of you. Maybe you want to organize something to like a Star Wars appreciation day, or you know, maybe to, you know, get people's minds off of, you know, hard times. Maybe you want to organize a film festival, an online film festival, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, Star Wars. Final card in your main spread, Pisces, the Eight of Wands. So ease of, well, I shouldn't say ease, but definitely speedy communication, or intense communication. You might be composing like a lot of, like you might be, you know, getting petitions signed, going on an email, you know, getting email, like listservs together. Like I said, you might be using your social media platforms and, you know, posting to them every day for whatever reason. You know, again, it could be, hey guys, we're doing a soft launch of my new business. You know, check out my Etsy shop, check out this, check out that, whatever your motivation is. It does not have to be political or related to current events. But it's fast. It's quick. You have to be very nimble of mind right now. Nimble and sort of acrobatic. Because again, look how the Princess of Wands is kind of standing there. She's like very poised, and you know, she looks like she could be like a dancer, or like a gymnast or acrobat or something like that. And right beneath the Hanged Woman, which is again looking like an acrobatic, you know, circus act with the silks. So you're having to be very nimble, quick, lucid. Is that the word? Lucid? Liquid? Something. Fluid. Liquid. Fluid. That was the word. Jesus Christ. You have to be very fluid in your communication. Some of you have to be fluent in your communication. Some of you might be translating. Could that be it? Could that be it? Could that be you're servicing a community? Because again, going back to some of you guys in your previous reading is related to this one, where maybe you are going in and doing, you know, pro bono work for people who, you know, have language barrier problems, in terms of, you know, public housing, in terms of legal issues, in terms of education issues, and you're stepping up and you need to be fluent. You need to be, you know, an interpreter, basically, right? It feels for the most part, Pisces, your reading is about good work, good deeds, you know, being at the forefront of your at the forefront of your mind, and how that is requiring you to go through a certain spiritual change or uptick or awareness that you haven't had before. I'm here for it. I love it. The Eight of Wands, I think, is pretty much that. You might be doing a lot of communication at night because, again, that orb in the sky, and when I was talking about Star Wars over here, it's giving me the impression of the moon. So some of you are really activated in the night hours. Okay. Outcome, Pisces, for June is the Nine of Cups. So some of you, I mean, love hasn't been like a major theme that has come through here. I felt it a little bit. This could be about getting out there and dating. This could be that like I said, with this Princess of Wands, you might meet someone who inspires you, and maybe that person is a love interest to you. But it's not the biggest part of the story. But love in terms of loving yourself, love in terms of loving your neighbor, your friends, your family, your coworkers, strangers out in the street who you've never met before, but you're standing side by side for some reason, people that you're connecting with in terms of making new business connections. There's like this affinity. It feels like a heavy energy or sentiment of having affinity for other people, platonic love for people, right? Romantic love is here, sure, for those where it applies, but the bigger part is platonic love and self-love. Nine of Cups traditionally talks about wishes coming true. So some of you have wished to get to this point, especially those where this has been a personal journey and a triumphing over some of your pitfalls or your addictions or your setbacks and some of your self-sabotaging or self-harm energies or behaviors and actions, okay? And you triumph over that to the point where you get that, to a point where you get to love yourself and appreciate yourself in a way that you never have before. This is a hugely transformative reading, and it's fucking amazing, and I'm here for it, and I'm happy for you. You know, sorry to curse at the end, but that's, you know, if you know me personally, if you ever were to know me personally, Pisces, that's how I am. I use curse words to express joy. No offense to anybody. So that's pretty straightforward. Anything else with the Nine of Cups? I don't think so. Nine of Cups. Some of you might see like results of something because, you know, the Nine of Cups, like I said, wishes coming true can indicate some type of culmination, can indicate some type of outcome. So maybe for a few of you within 9 days or 9 weeks of something or of this point, you might get something or you might see the result of something. Just throwing that out there. I don't usually tell time with tarot, so, you know, don't bank on that too much. But if you're expecting something within 9 days to 9 weeks, and it might be coming your way. Okay? Overall energy. Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be dealing with an Earth sign, but you don't have to be. I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about. This is about understanding a new form of self, a new version of yourself. You know, Pisces version 2.0. Pisces version 106.8, you know, whatever, however many times you've gone through sort of an update in your life, right? I think that this Queen of Pentacles is coming in and speaking towards having a new standard of compassion for yourself and other people, or people in particular situations that you know personally. Like some of you, you're not on that, you know, recovery journey that we were talking about in the beginning. Some of you, that's a friend of yours, that's a family member of yours who you're supporting along the way. This Queen of Pentacles energy embodies compassion, embodies the energies of nurturing and caretaking and looking out for the greater good of everybody in the community, of everybody in the household, of everybody at the company. All right? There's something here about a unifying energy and coming together and really sort of feasting from the same fountain or drinking from the same fountain, right? Feasting from the same table. Some of you, maybe that's what you're into, or that's what you're organizing. A food pantry. People still are out of work. That's another damn thing. Pandemic, social unrest due to, you know, heinous police brutality, and people are still unemployed massively in this country. So maybe you organize a food pantry to feed local families that you know are struggling. Or maybe you're the benefactor of such an initiative, right? The Queen of Pentacles, one of the masters of the Pentacle suit. Pentacles talks to things of resources, things that we value, things that we need to live. Money, food, shelter. Some semblance of abundance, or, you know, what it takes to be stable. Yeah? And the Queen would be someone who gives out, would be someone who welcomes in the needy or people who are in some type of need. Okay? Pisces, that is your reading for June. If you liked it, hit the like button for me. That would be super, super cool. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I'd love to read that. Feel free to share this video across your social media platforms. Let people know that you like watching my stuff. And if you haven't subscribed, my friends, why don't you consider subscribing? You know, it'd be cool. I've enjoyed meeting new clients. I've enjoyed seeing the community grow around here, to see more people come on board and be supporters of my work, be supporters of the channel. You know, I don't know why. I do know why. It was basically like self-therapy why I started this channel. And at this point now, I realize that's bigger than me. You know, whatever I do with this is always going to be bigger than me. And I am honored to do this work. I'm happy to do this work. And if you want to be a part of that journey, that'd be great. You don't have to. I don't strong arm anybody into anything, ever. Okay? Pisces, I will be back soon to do the mid-June messages. And again, at some point in June to do the surprise live. So if you want to catch me with all of that, make sure you're subscribed. If you want a personal reading, the information is in the description box as well as the link to Instagram, okay? Pisces, I thank you so much for watching. Take care.